Morning.
Morning.
As the day starts at the barn, there's a new expert joining the team.
You ready for this one? It's your first one, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I'm quite excited, actually.
Paper conservator Angelina Bakalarou has been honing her craft at the National Archives for the last 8 years. But today, she's meeting David, his son William, and William's sign language interpreter, Mary.
Hello?
How?
So what have you got for us?
It's a painting of my great-grandmother. She was born in 1853.
1853?
Absolutely.
OK. Yeah, let's have a look.
Can you tell us something about it?
She is the mother of my grandfather. She was born Mary Fletcher, and she married my great-grandfather, and she had 8 children.
Wow. Do you know anything about Mary? What type of lady was she?
She looks a bit of a fierce lady to me.
She looks a bit serious.
I don't think I'd argue with her. But she was profoundly deaf.
OK.
The same as William.
Right.
And she died in 1916.
And was she deaf from birth then?
Deaf from birth, yes.
OK. So like your great-great-grandmother, was you born deaf as well, William?
Yes, I was born deaf, yeah.
We didn't know until about 9 months old.
Right.
And he failed his hearing test. And then he had his first hearing aids at 11 months old.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
He went to a unit at school and then on to university.
And you're working now, William?
Yes, I work for... I'm a support worker for Sign Health. And I enjoy it. I've done it for some time now. I love it.
David, how come you've got this now?
Well, it was passed down to me from my parents,
Right.
who inherited it from my grandmother and grandfather when they died.
Do you mind if I come and have a closer look?
Please do.
Thank you. Right. So it looks like it was made on paper, and I can see that it has a funny outline around your great-grandmother's face, which makes me think that this is possibly an enlarged photograph that was painted over. These methods were usually called crayon portraits, and often a smaller photo would be enlarged.
Yes.
And because the details would get so blurry, then they would paint over it because you didn't have to sit for
Right.
them. It was quite easy to do this, but this is definitely made on paper. If it was a painting, usually would be done like on proper canvas.
And William, why is this important to you?
Important to me because I'm profoundly deaf, and of course my great-great-grandma Mary, she was profoundly deaf. Remember, it was so much different then to now. And they used to communicate using a blackboard, just writing.
So it must have been really hard for Mary growing up and having a family in that time.
Absolutely.
And also, I think maybe it's something that I can pass on as well to my children, to show to them that I wasn't deaf by chance. It was possibly genetic, and maybe in the future that, you know, another deaf child could be born.
Yeah.
It's the only image we've got of Mary.
OK.
So I think that's really important
Right.
to keep that in the family and for William to take custody of it.
But he's not going to inherit it right now, though, is he?
Well, that's to be open for discussion.
Oh, is it? What do you reckon, William?
Maybe.
Maybe. I think it's going over here.
I think so.
I think so, too.
I think so, too.
I think that's where it belongs. But thank you for bringing it in.
Brilliant. Thank you.
OK, brilliant. Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Okay. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So I can see that she's not in a very good state. I need to preserve it for the future, but not really alter it or change it in a way that is going to lose that history. My biggest concern at this point is that this is very, very dry. We have this very big crack that is about to split. But before anything else is done, what I want to start with is removing this old piece of canvas that I think it has been put on to make the pretense of it being a painting. It's actually making the paper much more dry. So I'm going to start from this bottom right corner. I want to go quite slow on this because this photograph is quite dry, and what I don't want is push too hard and I can start losing pieces on the other side. Although it is a slow process, I just can't wait to see it off.
As Angelina settles into her task, a metal mystery is testing experts Brenton and Dawn.
Is it some sort of still, do you think?
For making gin?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So big.
It's very ornate, though, isn't it?
It is.
The lady with the answer is Evine Dilber from Norwich.
Hello there.
Hello,
Hi, you OK?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good to see you. This must belong to you.
This was passed to me, yes.
Do you mind if I ask what it is? We're both a bit stumped.
You're a bit puzzling. It is an Ottoman brazier. So basically, it is a heating device. So you put the hot coals in here, you cover it, and then you sit around it.
Inside the house?
Inside the house.
And does the house fill up with smoke?
I don't know, it was 100 years ago, I wasn't alive.
So you've never used this, then?
I never used it.
Nearly 100 years old.
Yes.
Wow. So whose house would this have been heating?
My great-grandparents and my grandfather, they used to live in Greece as Turks, and after the end of World War I, they were summoned and they had to move to Turkey. The winner of the war, they decided the Greeks living in Turkey had to move to Greece and vice versa. So they had 48 hours.
Really?
Pick your stuff and go to Istanbul, and they had to rebuild their lives.
So is that where this comes from?
We believe so, yes. This was probably acquired when they arrived.
It's one of the first things you'd need, isn't it? The first, that
Yeah,
first night.
pots and pans and
Yeah.
a bit of heating.
A bit of warmth.
Yeah.
Did you ever get to meet your grandparents?
My granddad died probably when I was 10 years old or so. I didn't know him very well, but I remember my grandma. And I suppose this was used at the beginning and then set aside in a corner for the next many, many years. I think it was about 25 or so years ago, my parents went to sort out this storage, and there it was. And my mother said, "This is great, and Evine will love it." So she packed it, and then it was shipped at the time I was in Cambridge, and arrived, and the kids and I got massively excited about it.
Wow.
I took the kids to Istanbul, visiting the palaces. They have, like, huge ones, and they're super shiny.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And the kids looked at there and said, "Is ours supposed to be like that?" And I said, "Well,
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to polish it?
no, I haven't, because it needs fixing as well. There are cracks in here. And this piece, let me get this one here.
See, that's dented a bit.
There is a bump here,
Yeah, OK.
and there is, I think, a crack
Yeah,
here.
little split there, yeah.
The lift's getting longer.
I think there's a lot of work there. I think it's an amazing thing. And if we can get it polished up, it's going to look spectacular.
So if Brenton is able to work his magic, what will you do with it?
He goes back in the living room and gives an opportunity to tell the story. It's the symbol of the family resilience.
I can't wait to get working on it. Thank you for bringing it in.
Excellent.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
It's an amazing piece. There's a few little dents in it which don't actually bother me too much. This one in the top I'm going to have to deal with. But I think these ones on the side are sort of part of its life, part of its patina. The firebox, the bit where you light the fire, that will need soldering back together. Now the base itself that the brazier goes onto, I can't repair this, it's too brittle, so I'm going to make a whole new circle of brass and put that on here. First we're going to do is get the ring off of the base, because that needs cleaning up. Crikey. Well, that's that ring off. Normally I would polish this by hand, but there's so much of it. I think I'm going to ask Pete, who cleans enormous brass instruments. He must have some sort of chemical or machine that will be able to help me, so I'm going to find him and see if he'll give us a hand.
Paper conservator Angelina has been painstakingly removing a layer of canvas that was stuck to the Victorian photographic portrait.
Yay!
And she can now move on to repairing the flaked and folded surface.
What I'm going to do now is prepare for humidification. It's going to help soften the paper, especially all around the big tear, and they will help me unfold them and then create a very flat surface for me to work on later on. I'm spraying this fabric-like material, which is called capillary matting, with water, which will allow slowly the water to come out on the other side and help humidify the item. I need it to be wet, but not dripping in water. Let's put her in. So this is a piece of plastic that is basically going to create a chamber and allow her to slowly and very safely humidify. Great-great-grandma Mary is now out of the humidification chamber, and the paper is nice and soft. I have a very, very small window to unfold all the small bits, so I need to start moving. What I'm doing is very, very gently moving all those little bits and folds that I can see and trying to flatten them back down. But I need to be careful not to break any of the paint. If I hadn't humidified the paper, all of these little bits would break. Now that almost everything is nice and down, small brush, dip it in my consolidant. This is methyl cellulose, and it will keep everything together. It is very clear, so it will not show after it dries. And I will use my blotter to cover this and leave it to dry. Repairing objects and giving them some purpose back is just a fantastic feeling. Now I will focus on reinforcing this big fold. I'll be using a bit of Japanese tissue. They're very fibrous and they're very strong. They're ideal for repairs on paper. Just teasing it with my brush to make sure that everything is nice and adhered. Okay, there we go. I want to focus on the two infills, especially the one on her hand. I'm going to be using some cellulose powder, and I'm creating a type of paste which will help me build up this layer. I don't want to use paper because it will be very, very obvious. So I just want to slowly, slowly build it up. I can flatten it with my folder and some blotting paper and leave it underweight.
Next, a treat for Kirsten Ramsay, as a piece of iconic Italian pottery makes its way into the repair shop.
The anticipation.
For brother and sister John and Wendy Diamond from Kent, their item has strong family connections.
Hello.
Hi. Hi. You okay?
Yeah.
Come in.
Come on in.
Oh, wow.
There we go. It's actually broken in 2 places.
This looks like a beautiful Batossi horse.
It is, yep.
Wow.
It's mine, which nobody loves, except me.
Oh, stop.
Everybody thinks it's ugly.
Oh.
It is quite ugly, isn't it?
I think these really divide people. I think people either love them or they hate them. I happen to love them.
Me
so,
too.
Yeah.
Why are you so attached to this horse? Why do you like it so much?
It reminds me of my mum. As a child, Mum took us to a fete. I don't know why, I just wanted to win this horse off the tombola. It was just the one I wanted. And I remember keep bugging Mum for money, a bit more money, a bit more money. And eventually, yeah, I pulled the ticket, won the horse, and then Wendy had to carry it home.
I had to carry it home.
Oh,
To
really?
about 2.5 miles, roughly. John was only 4 and I was about 6, so the big sister got the job of carrying it uphill.
Muscles.
It was very heavy.
Heavy and large.
Yes. Yeah.
What an amazing tombola prize. Did you see that on a table? And,
Yeah.
And yeah.
It just, I don't know, as a child, I don't know why it caught my eye, it just caught my eye.
And it's been with you ever since?
Yeah,
Every house move,
Yeah.
wherever you've been?
absolutely. It's always come with me.
So what was Mum's name?
Mum was Joy. She used to take us to lots of different places, events.
So you had very happy memories going on these trips?
Oh,
walking
absolutely, yeah.
around?
Seasides and fetes and fairs and, yeah.
She was determined that she was going to give us a good childhood, with as little as she had. But, yeah, her family meant the world to her.
She sounds wonderful.
Yeah, yes, she was.
She was the mainstay.
Yeah, she
the
was.
house.
She was the rock.
Very special bond there.
Yeah,
clearly.
yeah, it was. We lost Mum in November 20 due to COVID. So,
I'm sorry.
yeah, so that's why it really does.
Yeah, it means more.
Yeah,
So this horse brings back the
Means-
happy
yeah.
memories.
Yeah, that's good memories. Pictures are good, but that's got an actual memory attached to it.
tells a story, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it definitely tells a story.
Yeah, absolutely. Losing Mum's a trigger to get it put right.
That must be a bit heartbreaking, seeing it
Yeah.
like this now.
Oh, yes. The back end was broken by my son playing football indoors.
So who fixed that?
I managed to glue it back together. I don't know.
Right.
And then more recently, it got broken again by the girls.
I've got to ask, what are you hoping Kirsten can do to it?
Oh, just make it how it used to look, so it remind me of the day that I saw it on the tombola, shining at me probably, and make me want to put a little sticky label on it and try and win it again.
Who's going to carry it home?
I think you should.
Thanks, John.
100%. You should definitely carry it home.
Do you know what? I'd love to carry it home. I really would love to carry it home.
It's nice.
Fantastic.
He's in safe hands. Leave him with us.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Can't wait to see it.
Okay.
Good luck.
Thank you. I really love Batossi. It's a renowned Italian maker and it has this really distinctive, colourful glaze which can be quite a challenge to restore. I believe that this piece is probably 1960s, 70s and they are quite collectible. John has bonded the back section of the horse back together and it feels like a strong bond and it's really nicely aligned. If I was to try and start taking this apart, I think I would probably just cause damage. There might be further loss of the glaze along these edges. So really it seems best to just leave it as it is. I'll do some filling and I will try and blend that crack in so it doesn't show. The biggest challenge with putting this back together again is clearly the head and the weight of it. But first, I'm going to give this a really good clean. I can see that there's some build-up of grease and dirt on this ceramic glazed surface, and the acetone should remove that really effectively. What an amazing thing to see on a tombola. Whenever I've been to fetes, I've only ever seen tired-looking bottles of sherry and talcum powder and things like that. So to see this, I mean, I would have been there with John trying to win this. I think it's absolutely lovely. That's cleaning up really nicely. This is going to look incredible once it's been thoroughly cleaned.
More accustomed to removing the tarnish from trombones, Pete has been enlisted to help restore the lustre to the brass brazier.
We'll just do it bit by bit, because
okay.
we've got quite a bit here. Just gently put it in.
So what have we got in here then, Pete?
Just an acid bar, 40 to 1. It takes a little while to work. I think you should have a go at this. OK. I'll leave it in your capable hands, sir.
OK, thank you.
Getting the wire wool on there.
Wow, that is incredible. The speed with which that works. Normally, this tarnish would take hours and hours to get off, and it's just coming off in seconds. Hats off to Pete. If I had a hat on, I'd take it off, because that is incredible. Working at the repair shop, I've learned so many different techniques from different people. It's always good to be amongst clever people, and we all learn from each other. Well, this looks fabulous. Now that I've got all of that acid residue off and wire wooled this, it actually looks amazing. So by taking the dirt off of this, the dents then become highlighted. You can see them easily. This big one on the top has to go. So I've got a stake which has got a curved edge on it, and I'm trying to replicate that shape. So what I'm doing here is dropping this stake in, and it's like hitting with a hammer, but its own weight is doing the work. I can feel it from the outside, and I can also hear when it's hitting the metal in the right place. I'm in my element now, bashing bits of brass. Nothing makes me happier than straightening a piece of bent metal. Yes. That's pretty good. I'm happy with the removal of the dent, and it's time for the first polish. I think Yvine is going to be bowled over by this when she sees it. Once this is all done, I can move on to the burner. Evine said when she brought the brazier in that the burner part had a crack in it, and this is, I think, the original joint. So I'm going to solder that back up with silver solder, and solder likes a really tight joint. So I've got to get that clamped as tight as possible. I need to put some flux on to help the solder to flow. Put the goggles on and give it a go. Because this is quite a big gap, I'm trying to sort of get little lumps of solder to fill the gap up. And it's quite difficult, because if you get it too hot, gravity makes the solder just fall off in a big blob. I've just got a tiny bit of tidying up to do, and then I can start filing this down and polishing it.
Angelina has been camouflaging her intricate paper conservation work using watercolours.
I'm starting on doing that cuff. It's quite decorated, so I need to find a way that create the illusion of the decoration that the artist originally did. I'm using a very, very light layer because I want to be able to build up as I need to. Mary was a very strong woman, like being able to raise all these children and being a deaf woman at the same time in a Victorian era where things were much, much more difficult. So I want this to be linked with William and to be proud that he had her as a great-great-grandmother. I think I need to add a few more dark washes, and then Mary will be ready to be mounted and put on a frame.
This painting of a Victorian matriarch means the world to William. It is a link to his great-great-grandmother, who, like him, was born deaf. His dad, David, and interpreter Mary have accompanied him to the barn to be reunited with the family portrait.
Hi.
Welcome.
You okay?
Fine, thanks.
Hello.
How are you both feeling?
I don't know what to expect.
I don't really know what to expect, so
I do. Looking forward
I'm
to
looking
the
forward
end.
to seeing what the end result is and what Angelina's done.
It was in a right mess before when we bought it in, you know, being folded up and creased, and how that's going to be repaired, I'm not sure. It'll be a miracle if it is.
Are you both excited to see it? Do you want to have a look?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Wow, it's fantastic. You know, what? Yeah, it's fantastic.
Lost for words.
I'm absolutely lost for words. I don't know what to say.
It far exceeds what I ever thought you would do, and I can't thank you enough.
Marvellous, absolutely marvellous.
Thank you.
The detail that I've never seen before that you've been able to bring out is just brilliant. It's superb.
It's Mary. Keep looking at me.
It's as though she's looking at me. It's just gripping. It feels like she's popping out of the picture frame. It would be lovely to know her reaction. She's deaf, I'm deaf, how she would communicate with me. Yeah, wow. Brilliant.
So have you decided whose house this is going to be now?
I think it's going to...
No question, that's it.
No
mine.
questions asked.
It's mine.
You've got the problem now with the twin boys.
Yeah.
Which one has it?
Well, you can have a few years of enjoying it first,
Absolutely.
I hope.
Of course, of course.
So. Good on you. Well, it's yours to take away.
Thank you so much.
See you later.
Bye.
See you later.
You can see much more of her facial expressions. It's much clearer. And I feel I've got eye contact, and that is very important within the deaf community. We use that a lot. So I feel, yeah, the bigger connection there.
Out of the world.
It's something out of this world.
Having cleaned and consolidated the pieces of the Potosi horse, Kirsten can begin the delicate task of reassembly.
So this might look quite strange, putting the horse into a box. Given the weight, I'm going to use gravity to help me keep this in place once the adhesive is on there and I've got this taped. I've got an epoxy resin that I made up and have allowed to go slightly tacky, and I'm just going to put a few grains of titanium white into the adhesive. So if I then have an opaque surface to colour fill onto. That's great, that's in place. It looks good. I can feel that that's really nicely aligned. I'm going to leave that now to let the adhesive cure, and then I can move on to filling all these areas of loss on the glaze. The horse's head has gone back on really nicely. There's still some really unsightly chips of glaze missing from around these breaks here. So the next stage is to try and fill in this lovely glaze with a coloured fill. Instead of filling and then retouching, I'm going to use a coloured fill that's exactly the same as the glaze. It takes slightly longer to get there, but I think the end result is going to be really worth it. Although it looks like a blue horse, when you look more closely, there isn't just one colour. As I go along this break edge, I've got maybe 15 different colours, and I'm going to try and make each colour as I go along. This challenge of trying to match these beautiful different glazes is one that I really relish. This is really starting to disappear now.
I've been watching you work on this beautiful little horse. Absolutely love it.
Isn't it wonderful? The colour is just so striking.
And the character.
Yeah.
It is absolutely adorable.
I think practically every single one of us in the barn has said how much we love it.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it.
Brassmaster Brenton is ready to tackle the final piece of the brazier.
The base of the brazier, it's very cracked, and I'm going to make a new piece of brass that goes onto the wooden base. I'm using the old base as a template so I get exactly the right size. So that can now come off. I'm on the home straight now, or the final bend. That's great. All I've got to do is nail it together, and we're nearly there. Wow. Evine said when she saw the braziers in Turkey in the museums and palaces, they were bright and shiny. I don't think she's going to be disappointed. I've got a bit more polishing to do, and I hope that she's going to absolutely love it when she sees it.
The brass brazier was bought by Evine's great-grandparents when they fled Greece and settled in Turkey at the end of the First World War. Over 100 years later, Evine is hoping that it's been restored to its original splendour.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Evine. Welcome back.
Nice to see you.
How are you feeling?
Oh, super excited. I can't wait. I'm just shaking with excitement.
What are you hoping is under this blanket?
Shiny, shiny.
Shiny, shiny.
Do you want to have a look?
Oh, yes, please.
Good. Go on, Brenton.
Wow. Wait, this is how it should look like. Fabulous. It's unbelievable. You fixed it. And shiny. Can I touch?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Absolutely delighted. Fabulous job.
What's the plan? What are you going to do?
I'm going to look at it every day.
Yeah.
Every day. It's mesmerizing, isn't it? And it's been so long where I keep saying, oh, you shouldn't look like that, you shouldn't look like that. That, yeah, I can't take my eyes off, and I think this is going to last for a long time.
Good.
It's a past and future story, really. It's an appreciation of what past people have done. Can't say thank you face to face anymore, but the fact that I and my children, we take care of that is to show that we care and we remember.
That's lovely. Thank you. Well, I mean, you've done an amazing thing for seeing the potential in it and saving it. So now it can be
thank you.
Hopefully passed on and stay in the family.
Yes, thank you.
We will give you a hand out, of course.
Fantastic. Yes,
Do you
please.
Want to take the top? Yeah. I'll grab the bottom.
Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
Look, it's like a mirror. Look at that.
I'm absolutely ecstatic of being reunited with the brazier. The way it looks now, it's really for my ancestors, for their hardship, and it's all in a way crystallized and focused in this object, which has got a huge significance for my family and hopefully for the future generations.
The repair on the Betossi horse is also on the final furlong.
The fills are looking great, but I need to polish them so that they have this lovely shine to them, like the original blue glaze. I'd like to think that the horse is now starting to look as it did when John saw it on the tombola table and fell in love with it. That's polishing up really nicely. Once I finish polishing, I'm just going to add in a few dots of pigment to distract the eye, and then the horse is ready to go back to John and Wendy.
The prized horse had suffered breaks over the years, but it still evokes special memories of a much-missed mum for John and his sister Wendy.
Look what I've got!
That is fantastic.
We can relive that day at the fair.
Amazing. I've always wanted to have a go with one of these.
Hiya.
Hello.
Hello.
John, Wendy, hi, how's it going? Roll up, come on in.
Come on, John, pick your number.
Got a tombola.
How have you been?
Waiting, anticipation.
Been worried about your little horse?
Yeah.
Oh.
On the horseback.
I have to say, it's had a huge amount of love. We all love it.
Oh, good.
So, yeah.
Go on, Kirsten, do the honours.
Right. OK.
Oh, my God. That is exactly the same.
It's not even got a chip on it, John.
Nothing. That's superb.
That is amazing.
Have a look at this. It had chips everywhere.
You can't even see the crack on its bottom. Wow, that's
You're a genius.
Fantastic.
I'm seeing more colours than I did before. Yeah, see, in my eyes, it was only blue. And now you can see the greens in it as well.
It's got those beautiful colours and that texture.
Yeah.
For something that symbolises so many happy memories for both of you.
Yes.
I think it's only right that it now looks the part as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Brilliant. That's going on top shelf.
It means so, so much because it tells the story of that day and us being together as a family. Yeah, with Mum. So, yeah. It does.
It's amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
You're very, very welcome. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Well, it's yours to take away. And I guess, Wendy, this is going to be your job.
Oh, thank you.
Go on, Wendy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
It's been a great
Bye
pleasure.
now.
Bye.
Oh, I'm sad to see it go.
I've got it back now, my horse. It feels amazing. It's been so broken for so long, and it now looks perfect.
I hated that horse on the day John won it, but carrying it out today, yeah, it felt amazing. It really did feel amazing.